Plaintiff Vincent Herron says he represents models, and he wanted to represent the defendant after he saw her at a club and was impressed with her assets. Vincent claims he spent money promoting the defendant's career, but she was supposed to repay him and failed to do so. So he's suing. Defendant Joanna Chambers says she never wanted to be a model until Vincent approached her at a club. Joanna does not believe she should have to repay Vincent for all of the expenses he incurred promoting her career, and believes he's suing for more than she owes.
Start with you.
We're here because what we do is I represent model. I'm a model managing. And we're not an agency. What we do is represent young ladies who are trying to get into model, have been told they're model, and basically not waste their time or their opportunity of trying to get out there. What we try to do is basically keep the knuckleheads, the GWCs, the guy with just a camera telling them they could do this and don't never flourish in the game. And what I've done when I met Ms. Chambers was basically something that we took nothing and made it to something you can handle as well as someone you can't have. And I say that because when I met her at a club, it's over there by your hood, or Joy Road in Greenfield.
Tough territory.
Yes, it is.
Tough territory.
Yes,
Go ahead.
And she was just observing the crowd in the dance floor. At that time, I was really upset with a couple of hood stars and hood ratchets at the club, and I was just walking around, and I happened to see her.
Tough crowd there, Doc.
Yes,
Go ahead.
And I happened to see her, and she was just observing the crowd. She wasn't
by herself?
Well, she had another friend, but she wasn't twerking or shaking or being ratchet. She was just watching the crowd. So I thought that was, her looks. I was like, okay, this is great. So as she was leaving the club, I followed her out, and I noticed that she had great assets. Great assets. And on top of all that, she made a T-shirt dance in flat heels. So when I'm looking at her, I'm like, wow, I saw this.
And you came there without a man with you? Like that? That's a tough neighborhood.
Yeah.
Just to tell you how tough it is, I go back to my old neighborhood every now and then. I went to a restaurant/club over there, had my security guy with me. They were so nervous because there was guys hanging outside. They walked in with their gun in their hand. And no, I got it on my side. They walked in with their gun in their hand. Kept the gun on the table while we ate, came out and walked back to the car with the gun. I'm greeting some of the guys. I didn't know them, but these guys from my old neighborhood, I don't act special when I go back to the hood. If they get me, they get me. But I look up and my security is in the car. Like, y'all run to the car with a gun. You are brave. Ooh, that's a tough neighborhood.
And being brave, like I said, I was walking behind her and I started seeing like boom, boom, boom. So I'm like, I came up with the name of BB Chambers.
Her last name is Chambers, all right?
So BB Chambers, that's why I came up with the name. And I asked her about would she like the model. She was kind of apprehensive, but she'd been told that she should try it. So I said, just give me a chance. Let me tell you what I could do and offer you. And that's how we started from there. It worked out real well, But the thing is, she's lazy, but not too lazy, and she doesn't follow through a lot of things. So now that we're here for this reason, it's for that particular thing of a breach of contract.
Defendant Joanna Chambers worked as a model and was represented by the plaintiff, who claims after he spent money promoting her career, Joanna failed to show up for her scheduled modeling jobs.
Let me allow her to give some background, ma'am.
Like Vince said, I met him at the club, and like he said, I never modeled before, wasn't interested in modeling. So I ended up giving him my number because he followed me to the car so I can just go or whatever.
Give him your number, why?
So I can leave, so I can go.
Oh, so is that easy? All you gotta do is walk up to you and say, give me your number. And you say, here, so I can leave. Wow.
No, it's just, I kept saying I wasn't interested, and he kept following me.
But
so
you gave him the real number,
like,
ma'am?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, something fishy about that, ma'am. If a woman wants to get away from a man and she thinks the best way to get away from him is to give him the number because he keeps asking for it, she gives him the wrong number.
I mean, that's true.
So you gave him the real number for a reason. Go ahead, though.
Okay. Well, after that, Vince called me, and I didn't answer or whatever. He kept calling me like every day for about 4 or 5 months. And I ended up answering the phone eventually, and I agreed to do a photo shoot. I think that was back in 2009.
All right, let me allow him to get to the contract that he's suing you about, involving obviously the photo shoot. Sir, what type of agreement and arrangement did you all come to?
Well, Your Honor, what it is, the contract basically based upon loans and advances, and I got this. You want to see it?
Let me see it, please. What were you to do?
Well,
what service were you to provide?
What I'm supposed to do is basically build up her brand, build her name up. And with that, we got her in several magazines and pictures.
You did?
Yeah. There's a picture.
All right, let's see it.
Got her in several magazines that we did with
Against her will? Let her tell it. Yeah, I didn't want to do it.
I mean,
Jeez, I'm sorry. Lord have mercy.
She did a lot of covers.
It's not nude or anything. It's just very provocative. And
but
I don't need to be provoked like that.
I do.
Let me just see it one more time. One more time. Lord have mercy. You got me taking the...
Well, those are current books that she's in right now. This year,
taking the Lord's name in vain. Stop.
And she's in a comic book,
One more time. Let me see that other one. This is not right, ma'am. This is terrible. Look almost as nice as my wife.
That's right.
Well, they're growing well in
my
Detroit.
My wife got a heck of a shape. That's what attracted me in college. And her eyes. Yes. Go ahead. Go ahead. You see, I'm making up, Doc. Because she see me Googling like that, I'm in trouble. All right.
Well, what we do, we make them into a brand, and she was very name-worthy. She became Google-worthy because she had a good following for a whole year.
So tell me about the agreement. You agreed to, I'm looking at, serve as exclusive personal manager and advisor. Yes, all right, and then you have something else about loans and advances that you have highlighted. So what happened?
Basically, what happened was, what we're here now is, I've been looking out for her since 2010 to 2013. Mm-hmm. And what I've been doing is basically dealing with her as far as getting her brand out there, fronting the photo shoots and fronting for expenses like parties and promotions, as well as with tickets and stuff. Mm-hmm. Because my major thing is, if you
all right, and you were to recoup.
And to recoup it.
All right, and recoup in the entertainment industry means recoup from the earnings of the talent. And if there are no earnings, you can't recoup.
No.
Yes. I've been around. I've been in this game for 16 years.
Okay.
I've gotten advances and they've recouped.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Can I explain myself then? Mm-hmm. With that said, on a recoup, she promised to pay me back with the jobs that may have come through the modeling, as well as with her jobs that she had between 2010 to 2014. Okay. She's had 4 different jobs, regular jobs, to even give me $20 a month or more back a month to pay back her debt. On top of all that, if you do not come, if I'm constantly calling you,
right, you have to make a good faith effort.
If you go ghost for 6 or 7 or 12 months, how can I even recoup anything?
Right, she has to make a good faith effort. Right,
and
correct.
I've told him that I couldn't make it to stuff. I have kids and I have no babysitters a lot of the times.
Okay.
A lot of times she never even answered the phone or return.
Good enough. And so give me the amount of money you spent on the expenses.
I have this and I have invoices.
Let's see it, please. Oh, you have invoices? All right.
Defendant Joanna Chambers worked as a model and was represented by the plaintiff, who claims after he spent money promoting her career, Joanna failed to show up for her scheduled modeling jobs.
Ma'am, what do you say about it?
What he's saying I owe him for is photo shoots and different stuff like that, which I feel like him as a manager, I don't think I should be paying for my photo shoots. I think that's his job to get my photo shoots. No, but you signed
the agreement that you would.
Right.
Why didn't you think that before you signed this agreement?
Because in the contract is he get earnings from parties and stuff that I've made money off of, which
Correct.
I've never made money off of.
But he
anyway.
says you did not make a good faith effort to do the work, and you pretty much confirmed that.
I've showed up to a few events before.
A few. You've told me, however, that you have reasons for not coming. That's like anybody else. When they are required to come to work, they have to pay a babysitter. So you're supposed to go to work, man, when he has work for you. And he doesn't provide work that's free. You weren't getting her free work, were you?
No.
Yeah, you were getting her work that was going to pay
we had a
her.
party
And that's
for her.
what you do with that money when you are paid. You pay the babysitter. So that's not a defense, man.
I mean, and on that same note, Your Honor, we had a party that we set up with her, and she came in. She's supposed to have been there at about 8 o'clock. She got there at 1
It wasn't a
o'clock.
specific time I was
She
supposed
got
to
there
be
at 1 o'clock.
I got there at
drunk
12. I got there
with her
at 12.
friends, her
It's
ratchet
my
friends.
birthday.
And
Ma'am,
then they
do
come
you
in
work?
Yes.
What type of work do you perform?
Custodian.
Were you working there during the time since 2010 up through 2013?
No, I started working there 2012.
Okay, so what were you doing from 2010 to 2012?
I had other jobs.
I'm trying to figure out what kept you from performing the
Working my
duties that
kids.
you agreed to perform.
Working my kids, I didn't have time. I told you in the
Okay,
beginning
so
I
you
didn't
should
want to.
not have accepted.
That's true, but
Right, I know it's true. So, is there any other defense?
yes.
What is your other defense?
Okay. I did my first photo shoot in 2010, which he said I was supposed to pay, which I didn't agree to because I didn't feel like it was my job to pay
You
for
didn't
it.
agree
And
to
I
pay.
didn't-
Well, hold on. You didn't agree to what?
to pay for it on photo shoots. And I didn't sign a contract until, 2012? So why should I have to pay for stuff before I signed the contract?
She
All right.
promised.
Hold on, sir. Is that true?
She promised.
No.
Everything she says is true.
Hold on. Is the first time she signed a contract, was it 12/12? And that's what I'm looking at, sir.
Can I explain?
Yeah.
Okay. Because if you see the loan, it said to recoup all recent as past as well as present. And she said she had no problem with that. I don't have all the time. I got texts right here showing what she said she would pay me and all that. Because when she was going to Kalahari and doing all this other stuff that she didn't have no money for, but yet she could do everything else,
Sir,
she never paid me.
all I can go by is this contract. The services that you provided as of December 24th, 2012 is a photo shoot. And I'm looking at a cash loan. When was that
yeah.
made?
It was made, she asked for 11/22/13. She texted me that she wanted $300.
He offered.
2013?
Yeah.
And agreed to repay it?
Yep.
All right,
Text
so
me.
that's enforceable. And what are you saying, ma'am, in terms of repaying the money that you asked for since
No,
that time?
I didn't ask for it. He offered. I told
All
him my
right, did you
situation,
agree
he
to pay
offered
it back?
Yes.
All right, so why shouldn't you?
I mean, that's the only thing I feel like I own for.
Okay,
It's
so
the
you do owe
$300.
that. No, why don't you think you owe the other amounts that you received since the contract was signed?
Because I've never made any money off of anything. And he
All
said
right.
that I'm supposed to owe him off of the earnings I made.
Okay.
But Your Honor,
Yes, sir.
even though the contract is stated 2012, even though we sit up there and waited for her to get there and had all these other people there to sign.
Sir, I know you're not.
all I told her
don't
was to be
overtalk
there.
me, sir. I know you're not a lawyer, so you may not understand. But
So words don't mean nothing. Even if she said she's going to
not when you have a contract subsequent to that word. If you have a word, that'll mean something until you sign something after that word. In the meantime, I'll grant you the expenses after December 24th of 12, $300 for the loan, and then the photo shoot. In the future, whenever you sign something after services have been performed, make sure you put that on the new contract. Otherwise, it won't have any bearing, all right? Have a good day.
I mean, no hard feelings. I love Vince. He's a kind-hearted person. And I just don't have time for the modeling. I don't want to focus on that right now. But I hope we continue to be cool.
I love her. BB always be my BB. Always respect her. No hard feelings.
If you can relate to any of our cases today, visit my website, askjudgemathis.com, and let me know your question.